Perfect. Okay. All right. Welcome to Optimize Your Mind. And today's session is about cultivate self-promotion. And I'm really, really excited to share this specific topic. And I had to make it a topic on its own for these master monthly classes because I know it's important and it's powerful. And a lot of people struggle with this one. So today you're going to learn how to develop bold confidence, how to cultivate healthy self-promotion, and how to brand your signature work. I like to call it put your handprints all over your work. We're going to talk about how to find your hidden report card criteria, how you're really being evaluated by others. You want to know the buzz about you, what people think about you when you're not there, what impression do they have when they hear your name, and managing that perception. So the good news is that you have the power to manage and shift that perception if needed. And again, let me introduce myself in case this is the first time you join me. My name is Maha Bodhi. I am a leadership development trainer and coach. I used to work, in the corporate world, specifically, at DirecTV. That was the last position that I had in my corporate career. I used to work in their headquarters here in Los Angeles. And what I did was I developed leadership development training, like these type of classroom type of trainings, but I was in-house and I was delivering their content. And now I have my own company, Women in Leadership Space, and I develop content that is uniquely designed by me, by yours truly. And I'm really excited to share this with you. This is work that truly matters for me, and it's personal for me because I am also, as you can see here, an inspirational speaker. I have a very unique background, a very unique story coming from a country called Yemen, and women are treated very poorly there, and I was pretty much enslaved. I was bought and sold into arranged marriages twice without my approval, and survived multiple death-threatening situations, a machine gun in my head, a sword in my throat, civil wars, several civil wars, people dying around me. So horrific stuff, really, stuff that you see in the movies. And it wasn't until my late 20s that I came here to the United States and I found my freedom, I found my voice, and started this long healing journey. And I learned stuff along the way, right? I learned these tools and techniques that allowed me to shape my mind to allow me to create the life that I truly desire, that I truly want. And I literally came from a cave. I'm not lying to you when I tell you that I was 29 years old and I've never had a bank account in my life. I did not know how to use an ATM. I did not know how to write a check. I did not know how to use a microwave, how to put gas in my car. And through these techniques and tools that I'm sharing with you today, I was able to develop into the person that I am today and become the successful female entrepreneur that I am today, working with executives, high-level celebrities, and sharing these techniques and, doing public speaking at stages, at the Beverly Hilton with big names. Sometimes I have to pinch myself. How did a girl from Yemen, become this person? And it's really through the power of your mind. So I am living proof of how strong the human spirit is, that if I can do it, so can you. No matter what obstacle you might have, no matter how difficult it might seem, you have a choice. And I'm going to show you how to do that. I am a certified yoga and meditation instructor, and these are some of my clients. And I know that we have people here from CoreLogic. I think Christine, hello. So I did a presentation, a workshop with CoreLogic, a training. I have clients from Mattel, Albertsons, Comcast, Google, AT&T, DirecTV. This is just to name a few. The slide wasn't big enough to name all of my corporate clients. So why is this different? Why is this training different? I just mentioned to you, I have a very unique background, and I come both from the corporate world. So I created this formula that is from different schools of thought, right? From the corporate agility, efficiency, best practices, cutting edge technology, with the ancient wisdom, yogic tradition, tools and techniques, the time-tested, time-proven throughout thousands of years, these transformational techniques, along with neuroscience and neuroplasticity. So I'm a big nerd and I study the brain, and I study studies specifically from Harvard University. They have a lab in Harvard. It's called the Lazar Lab, and it is specifically designed to study the impact of yoga and meditation and on the physical structures of the brain and how it really brings about changes in the brain. They scan the brain before and the brain after. And and studies have proven that it increases gray matter. So not to get too nerdy here, but what does that translate into your day-to-day life? What does that mean to you? It means it increases your focus, your concentration, your memory. It also accesses area in the brain that optimizes your sense of joy and optimism and hope of a better future, your sense of compassion and ability to have a more expansive capacity for others, to be more patient, to be more resilient. And so it's a really, why is this different from trainings that are out there? It's an inside out approach. It starts with the voice in your head. It's the relationship that you have with yourself. It starts from the inside, and then the outside will rearrange to meet this new you, to meet this new frequency that you set for yourself. And really, why do I need this? Why do you need this? This impacts your finances. This is money in your bank account. This is your sense of abundance and sense of self-worth to demand and ask for what you truly deserve and feel comfortable in your own skin saying that. This is your career, the progression of your success. And most importantly is your relationship. On your deathbed, you're not going to think about money. You're not going to think about your career. You're going to remember your relationship. So this is showing up for yourself and for the people that matter, for the people that are around you, your family, your loved ones. This is very important work that really nobody teaches us. Nobody talks about it at school, at trainings, and definitely not at work. So I hope you are as excited as I am, and let's begin this journey. Remember, today we're going to talk about self-promotion and what are the risks if you're not promoting yourself and you're kind of hiding behind your work. This was me, literally the invisible gray dot on the gray wall, hoping that my work will speak for itself. I shared with you where I came from, how I was raised to make myself small, to make myself invisible. And I carried that with me all the way to my adulthood, all the way to my career and to the corporate environment, doing the same patterns that were deeply ingrained in my mind. Just make yourself small, be quiet. And that really did not serve me at all. The risks, as you can see here in the slide, you can become underestimated. If you have an over-domineering boss or a competitor, if you're a business owner, you can get your credit stolen, your hard work, your team's hard work, credit stolen. And some people can just steal that and say it's theirs. You can get passed over for promotion. You can get pigeonholed as a follower, as a technical expert versus a leader, a visionary. You know, leaders, decision makers, clients, they're busy. They don't have time to come and check in on you and see how hard you're working unless you speak up and you tell them and you let them know and you make yourself visible and you're proud of it. Look, if you're hesitant, they're going to hesitate. If you're doubting yourself, they're going to doubt you. But if you're proud and confident in yourself, they're going to be proud and confident in you. They're going to be invested in you. Remember, you're not in that room to defend yourself. So when decisions are being made, I'll give you an example that when I was getting promoted and my boss was vouching for me, we need to promote Maha, she's amazing. Nobody knew who Maha was. Nobody knew the work that I was doing. And so I didn't get that promotion because I was invisible. Nobody recognized my name or my work. Decisions are made, unfortunately, based on perception, not based on reality. And so why do a lot of people struggle with this and study? And I know men struggle with this too. I'm not denying men, or if you're a non-binary, you know, this is all inclusive here. But studies have shown that women tend to struggle with this just a little bit more, just based on culture and how you were raised. You know, the number one influence is culture, right? Somehow men are kind of encouraged to be leaders, encouraged to speak up for themselves, and girls are kind of, don't be bossy, don't, you know, eyes to the ground, lower your voice, be a soft girl. And religion plays a huge influence here. It plays a huge role. Most religions, I'm not a specific religion, you know, Christianity, they have this like servant leadership. There's Hinduism, there's Muslim religions. A lot of religions tend to kind of make you be humble, right? Focus on others, not on yourself, be generous, be kind, which is all good things and good qualities, but not to kind of dismiss your own value. I'm never going to ask you to be inauthentic. I'm never going to ask you to be obnoxious or to be a domineering person here, but to really just give yourself the credit that you deserve. A family also, like I mentioned, my upbringing, and I know I'm not the only one. I lead these trainings, people come from all across the world, and they resonate with this. Yes, that I was told to be a good girl. I was told to keep my eyes down. I was told to only speak when spoken to. Don't brag, right? This is a big one. Don't brag. Nobody likes a bragger. I always like to quote Muhammad Ali. He said, it's not bragging if it's true. So I'm not asking you to say anything that is not true, only what is true and only what you deserve. So how do I fix this, right? The great news is there is a way, and there's a practical and simple and easy way how to develop that bold confidence and develop that healthy self-promotion in a very authentic way. Branding your signature work, which I call putting your handprints all over it, and you probably heard me say this before. If you're working on a project, if you're working on a product, if you're working on an initiative, or even starting your own business, you want to think of it as a brand. You want to give it a name. I'll give you an example. When I used to work at DirecTV, my manager, she was amazing at this, and I learned from her, and I'm so happy I learned from the best. She had an initiative. It was called, she gave it a name. She called it My Day. So now this project has a name. And then she started socializing it. First, it has a name, My Day. And now in meetings, whenever we have just a regular weekly meetings, team meetings, hey, Molly, how are you doing? What are you up to? I'm working on My Day. I'm excited about My Day. My Day is going to happen in June. You're all invited to My Day. And so everybody knew what Molly was up to, and everybody kind of started to become familiar with My Day. She even went overboard. She printed out t-shirt and put hashtag My Day. And we had a social platform, which is a company internal platform, kind of like Facebook, but for the company. And I know a lot of you have that in your company. And so she, branded it hashtag My Day, and people started to socialize it. She put it on the company newsletter. And then she started sharing it with other organizations, with other departments within the company, right? Hey, let's collaborate, let's bring digital media to collaborate here. Can you film My Day? Can you? And so she really made it a big thing and hyped it up. So now what Molly did with My Day, guess what? Nobody can take credit for My Day. Nobody can steal that from her and say, I invented My Day. No, because now as she socialized it, everybody knows who My Day belongs to. And then now she's visible. Everybody's excited about her. She takes initiative, and she's being viewed as a leader, someone who takes initiative. They're going to have their trust in her. She's positioning herself also as an expert. They're going to come to her for advice. So that's kind of an idea how to brand your work, to give it a name, to socialize it, and to share it with the world. Number 3 is finding out the hidden report card, right? You want to know how people perceive you, what people think when your name comes up. And it's subtle. You have to ask someone you trust, have just a coffee with them if you work in a company, and really tell them, like, you're helping me, you're doing me a service. If you tell me, how do people see me? Do they see me as a leader? Do they see me as weak? Do they see me as, obnoxious? Do they see me as a hot mess? I don't know what I'm doing. And just ask about that. Also jokes, subtle jokes. So when I used to work in the corporate world, they used to joke around and give us character names, and it's subtle, but now that I see, it's like sneaky and it's not kind. But they used to call me Karen from Will and Grace, or like, that's Maha, but they did that to everybody too. There was another director that worked with me, and they used to call her Elaine from Seinfeld. And so what is that really about? Think about it for a moment. And then the good news is that you can change that. You have the ability to shift that. It's the way you show up in meetings. It's the way you use your voice and your tone. In previous workshops, in our monthly workshops, I shared with you my executive vocabulary and words you can actually use to manage and shift perception of you, so you have that executive presence and gravitas. And if you don't have that cheat sheet with the executive vocabulary, go to my website, womeninleadership.space. And if you sign up to my newsletter, you automatically get access. It will be downloaded automatically to you, and you're going to get access to the PDF file with the cheat sheet with the executive vocabulary. It's literally a language you can use to shift perspective. And so how do we do this, right? let's make it into a practice. So it's not just theory. You don't know it just on an intellectual level, but I want to show you how to understand it on an experiential level. So there's a saying, I know and I see and I forget. I hear and I remember. I experience and I understand. I want you to understand this on a cellular level in your body. If this stuff doesn't come naturally and easily to you like I did, if you're hesitant and nervous about these things, if you just know it in theory, when push comes to shove, when you're just solving one problem after another, running from one meeting after another, you're going to default to your habitual frequency, to your comfort zone. And so how do you really bring about internal change so it comes easily and naturally to you? So it becomes one of those things that you're just good at and you do naturally without any effort. We're going to go internal. We're going to meditate. We're going to talk to your body the way you talk to another person. You have 3 brains in your body. You have a brain in your head, you have a brain in your heart, and you have a brain in your gut. And actually, science has now proven that your gut brain sends more signal to your mental brain in your head than vice versa. So it starts from the gut when you say, I have a gut feeling. And if you think about it, in embryo, when you were first beginning to develop, you developed first physical before you developed mental. You developed physical, and it starts from that belly button cord. You develop from there, from your gut. And then the heartbeat, and then the mind begins to develop. And so when your gut and your heart and your brain are in alignment and they're working in cohesion, that's when you are at your fullest optimized capacity. When you want some, when your heart wants something and your brain wants something and your body wants something else, you're conflicted and your energy is scattered and depleted. And so when we bring all these 3 into alignment, what you say and what you think and what you do are all in harmony, there's no conflict. That's when you really follow the path of least resistance, kind of like dolphins, how they're always happy and jumping, because they follow the path of least resistance. There's no conflict in there, and you kind of do less and you receive more. And we know those people, right? We know a lot of people that are just so magnetic and things happen for them, and we call them lucky, and we don't know what's their secret. Why are they so magnetic? It's because they're in alignment. There's no conflict. Who they are internally is who they are externally. And people are intelligent and they can sense that and they can see that. And so it's a mindset shift, right? When you speak up for yourself, when you promote your work and you promote your business, you want to understand that no one is out there to get me. Like when you're speaking up, if you're hesitant, nobody's holding a pen and a paper and waiting for you to make a mistake. And they're like, aha, I knew she couldn't do it. Like no one has that. So you have to trust that, people are actually interested in the information that I have to share. I have done the work. I have laid out the grand work. I matter, and what I have to say matters. I'm here for a reason. I have this job for a reason. I have this career for a reason. I was invited to this meeting for a reason. And so you start with that voice in your head, and literally you talk to yourself in this loving and compassionate and kind way. I can and I will and I am. That's my mantra. Whenever I get nervous, I'm like, I can and I will and I am. Just watch me do it. Even if though my knees are shaking, don't get me wrong. Like sometimes, I feel nervous too, but I just tell myself I can and I will and I am. And then the body listens, the body and the mind and the nervous system. They're all there to support you. Their job is to do what you tell them to do. It's just that nobody taught us how to talk to them. And so I'm going to show you how. So let's go ahead and close our eyes wherever you are. If you're sitting on a chair, that's okay. Just uncross your legs if they're crossed. So both of your feet, the soles of your feet are flat and are touching the surface beneath you. You feel grounded. And sit just nice and tall, your head above your shoulders and your shoulders above your hips. Close your eyes just for a moment. Attention inside. Begin to look inside of you. Place both of your hands on your belly button, one hand on top of each other. And take a full breath in through the nose and feel your belly expands as if it was rising to meet you, and it presses into your hand. And as you exhale, how it hugs back in as if it was protecting you. Inhale, inflate the belly. And exhale, hug it back in through the nose. Let's do that one more time. Inhale, belly expands. Exhale, belly hugs in. And now just let go of any control in your breathing. Trust that your body knows how to be breathed. Keeping all of your awareness and all of your attention right there behind your belly button. Signaling to all the organs behind the belly button that everything is okay. And you say to yourself, I am enough. Say it silently, slowly, and feel it land like stardust, just sprinkling over all of your organs and tissues and cells, bloodstreams. I am enough. I matter. And what I have to say matters. I matter. And what I have to say matters. I can and I will and I am. I can, I will, and I am. And take a full breath in through the nose. Open your mouth, exhale. Blast it out to the world. And blink your eyes open. And that's it. It only took 5 minutes. And it can make a huge shift and feel it. Notice how you've shifted. Your energy shifted. You feel more centered. You feel more balanced. You feel more present. And the person who does this is going to make completely different decisions, is going to show up in a very different way to the people around them. This stuff works. It's so powerful beyond what you can ever think. And anybody who has achieved anything that is extraordinary, the leaders of the world, the famous celebrities, the CEOs, the creators, they know this stuff. They know the power of the internal voice in your head. They know the relationship that you have with yourself is the most important relationship that you will ever have. And all the relationships that you have externally with other people are merely a mirror of the quality of the relationship that you have with yourself. It's a reflection. And so check in with yourself and check in on a regular basis, just like you check in with someone you dearly, dearly love, right? You check in with your kids, you check in with your loved ones, you check in with your parents, your husband, your wife, whoever, whatever. Think about the dearest person you have in your life and how often do you check in with them? Then you need to check in with yourself the same amount, if even more. Make some time. It only took 5 minutes, and this 5 minutes can change the course of your entire life. Now, I know we only have 30 minutes here, so I'm just going to give you here action items. So you want to write it down, write down your intention, like I can and I will and I am, and be specific. What is it? What is it that you are creating? What is it that you're breathing life into? What is it that you're giving birth to, right? We don't just give birth and create humans, we give birth and create life to projects, to work, to relationships, to experiences. Write it down. Record yourself. If you're speaking in public, if you're going to speak up in a meeting, you want to rehearse, you want it to land in your body. Record yourself. Notice your eyes. Do you have steady eyes? Is your voice shaking? Because if you're nervous when you're by yourself, guess what? How are you going to be when you're around other people? And say it over and over again. You want to literally exercise your mouth muscles and your vocal cords until it lands in your body and you feel comfortable in your own skin. If you have somebody you love, somebody you trust, get their feedback. You can rehearse in front of them. Practice the daily affirmations that I told you. You're literally rewiring your brain and your nervous system and your whole psyche to align you with the person you need to be to create the life that you came here to create. So just a quick summary here. Decisions are made based on perception, not reality. Remember this. Put your handprints all over your work, brand it. Practice daily to reprogram the voice in your head, because it will lead to actions, and actions will lead to the reality that you live in. I know we're on time here, so if you want to go, thank you so much, and be on the lookout for next month's masterclass. I'm going to answer a few questions here. If you have questions, type it in the chat. But the most common questions here: who is this program for? You know, it's designed for corporations, but I also work with a lot of individuals. I also work with entrepreneurs, business owners, and it's for all levels. It doesn't matter if you're fresh out of college or if you're a high level CEO or executive. I am here for you. You're welcome, Lori. You know, I deliver this in a large, you know, group training like this one, but I also do one-on-one individual coaching. It could be online, it could be virtual like this one over Zoom, but it could also be in person. You can contact me at maha@womeninleadership.space, and we can do a needs assessment, which is completely free, and we can go from there. Just remember that the mind is just like a muscle. The more you exercise it, the stronger it gets and the more it can expand. This is my information again, maha@womeninleadership.space. You can also check my LinkedIn, Maha Bodhi, and my website, maha@leadership.space. So just remember that it's .space, not .com. Thank you, everybody, for your time. Thank you for joining me, and I will see you next month on our next masterclass, and we're going to talk about a different topic. So have a great day ahead of you. Much gratitude to each and every one of you. Bye, everybody.